Good evening and welcome to Nigeria Decides 2019. This is a program that is specifically designed to educate the electorate, both at home and in the diaspora, as to what your civic duty is, how to go about achieving them. And in the same process, we touch on burning national issues and point people in the right direction. I happen to have with me my usual host tonight, Otumba Olabode Oseni. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Jerry, and good evening, viewers.
Glad to have you on board. So today we'll be looking at various issues, and one of the things we'll be touching on will be how to go about getting your PVC. What does it mean having it? Not just having it, utilizing it and utilizing it effectively to change the direction of our country, or elect the right government you want to elect. We'll also be looking at the money being spent in advertising various people I mean politicians, governors, and the likes of them in the diaspora, what that money could be used to do back home. And also we'll be looking at thuggery in Nigerian political arena. Otumba, what's your take? Let's start with one that we have talked about before, and that is the use of taxpayers' money in advertising on London buses. I know we've touched on this topic before, but it's like the more we talk about it, the more other people are actually jumping onto the bandwagon.
Yes, it's become a kind of a national disgrace. It's also, if I can choose my word, it's like a kind of it is abomination. It's the project of being care for others is what is missing in our midst in Africa. We genuinely just don't care. I mean, that is the truth.
Okay.
We don't care about others. You see, we easily choose to hoodwink ourselves by saying, "You're my brother's keeper, I am your brother's keeper." But the truth of the matter is, if we have government in place in many African countries that they genuinely want to use that as a foundation of governance, there's no reason why anybody in a country should be struggling to have drinking water.
That's true.
Their children should not be hawking after school. They should not be found doing what a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old child, in most cases, or children are doing. So coming to spending money that's supposed to be used for the people by one individual or by some individuals, it is criminal. It's nothing more. But they're just taking peace. They're just taking advantage of the people.
Right.
Because I can imagine that the advertisement showing Governor Ambode, Wike, Kremandu, and whatever, they are constituents.
It's growing, isn't it?
They don't know. They don't know. And even they know, they think their rep is doing something wonderful.
Okay.
Because looking at the amount of money, we worked it out last time. For 1 week is between 63,000 to 90,000 pounds. That's a huge amount of money. And if you multiply that, that could create loads and loads of employment. You understand me? In fact, it will go far beyond empowering each constituent. than just giving them old Singer machine. But you see, again, the bottom line here is that people doing put your hand in the till and use the money to send your own child or children used to mend or whatever. You cannot just use it for personal. You can't convert it or divert it to something else. But this is what we get. You see, because one constituent, because of the level of sophisticated, the level of education he or she has, we just call it to order, and you will not even do it. Let's start from there.
In the first place, yes.
You will not do it. But when you now find someone doing that kind of thing, believing that, who is this person from Ojokoro constituency? He knows nothing, you know. But you see, it's sad because every time we discuss things like this, it's like a case of we don't want us to move forward. We don't want us to progress. It's just like sometimes we're also talking about. If you can imagine if the main person in a congregation, be it Muslim, Islam, or whatever, or Christianity, were to be teaching, passing on the message of what the members are supposed to know, there will have been a lot of changes. And you know, and that is what people are saying. If you're a leader and you are not leading, you're only particular about yourself. That is a big problem. And I think that's why some of these people who are using taxpayers' money,
abusing taxpayers' money.
Because here you can't just take £1.
You see, Otumba, we are going to revisit this particular issue time and time again. However, whilst you were talking about accountability and the responsibility of elected officials to the people, something came up. And it pointed my mind straight to something that's been in our society for a long time. And I still think that if we elect the proper government, the right government, it can be abolished completely in Nigeria. And I want the electorate to actually listen to the ideology of the people you are voting for. Now, this is one of the things I find abhorrent when it comes to our society. That's child labor. You said children hawking on the streets. Since when I was growing up, it's always been there. But over the years now, the United Nations has actually come out with something that's against children earning for their parents. It's child labor, whichever way you look at it. Even if the child is standing in traffic selling newspaper, it is child labor. If you are hawking water for your parents, it is child labor. And Nigeria is rich enough to stop that happening, to stop our children going out into the streets to work for their parents, because it's some kind of augmenting what the parents are bringing in, because they are not bringing in enough to sustain the family. And I think these are, if we are talking about changes, these are some of the things the electorate should demand from the people they want to vote into power. What do you think?
Jerry, the situation where we are now looks to me to be, we are putting the horse before the cart.
How do you know?
No, the horse is supposed to be before the cart.
Yeah,
it's not
the cart before the horse.
The
Yes.
cart before the horse. If we have educated electorates, a well-informed electorates, people that know exactly what to do, that they can study read and write and understand what election really mean. And they are trained to know, they already been educated right from ab initio. They have the education. And they now believe that voting Otumba Olabode Oseni as a councillor or as a House of Rep, not my personality, but based on what I say I would do, and based on my antecedent. Well, in that sense, it could be my first time or my second time. But if I have to go to campaign and I say to them, guess what? Trust me. In my own Abule Odon local government, I'm the chairman, I make sure that all the residents in my 4 years tenure, I will make sure no child will hawk. I will make sure that everybody will have pipe-borne water in their homes. I will make sure the roads that is within the confinement of my territory will be tarred.
These are ideologies.
Yeah, hang on a minute.
People don't buy
ideology. Because your question is like making it to look like they know what to do, but they are not. They don't.
They?
No, they don't.
I think they do.
No.
I think it's just greed. Greed is blinding our people.
No.
They don't listen to ideology.
Are you talking about the electorate, or you are talking of the reps?
I'm talking of the electorates as well.
Yeah, the electorate. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. Now you tell me. Take example of a member of House of Rep that choose to spend, to lavish a huge amount of money on one woman.
Yes. Yeah. I think there was a story about somebody
paying
100 million into a
to
woman's
buy,
account.
which, and some people, or very few constituents, taking advantage of all other constituents. The idea of a member of Senate who is claiming a huge amount of money for his constituency is to provide
certain amenities.
Amenities, not even only amenities, even create employment, empowerment, and so on. Even for the remaining one that have no access to getting jobs from that provision, they should be entitled to even get a regular support. It's not magic here. But these people, you see, this will lead me to another area which you mentioned in your introduction, because it's cheaper, and it's also an act of wickedness. It's cheaper for an average rep to acquire or to employ thugs. So a constituency, let's take a simple figure of 200,000.
Yes.
And this guy is collecting money for even 400,000.
Census, wrong figure.
Well, let's use a very stupid figure. Now, this person representing Ota Central, whatever, collects money that's supposed to sustain, because the other arms of government cannot see what is going on at Ota Central. It's the one that comes from there.
That will see
he
exactly
runs a
what's
surgery.
going on.
He knows that the corner, the nook and cranny of that, his constituency, he is supposed to at least make sure that the first 4 years is going to be representing them. He brings development to that place. But because he knows that it's cheaper for him to acquire or to recruit a couple of thugs in the area, and then give the thugs a regular supply of money, and then keep the other
subjugated.
Yes, obey, keep them off,
fear,
because he has paid for his dogs, his thugs, to bite, to back and bite. You see, this can only come from within the person. That I know what I'm doing, I'm being wicked to my other people. Because otherwise you cannot sit everybody down, you can organize them, break them into segments and say, even the number one thug, you say, look, you're going to head this division, head this division. What and what do we need in Ota Central? And then, of course, you can see schools, the windows are gone, children are sitting on the floor. There's so many things. We have no water. You have
Is
to
it
do
because there's no
whatever.
continuance in governorship in terms of you come in because you belong to another party, you will do whatever you want to do. When I come in and I know that some of the things you have done will actually benefit the people, I'll tear it down because I want to do it my own way so that people can say, oh yeah, Jerry did it. Is it one of the veins we have, or is just pure?
That even doesn't even help the matter. It's even worsen the matter.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you why. If the first 4 years you are the representative of this
Particular area.
particular area, and you choose not to do what you have to do,
Mhm.
most of the money was spent on your personal need.
Mhm.
You send your children to abroad or better schools. You look after your immediate family.
Family.
You have bought about 3 or 4 new cars. You have practically only managed to spend 5 or 10% of the total amount of money we are talking about. To do what? Just to create. In fact, that 5% is used on the talks we are talking about.
Yes.
Now, how do you now say continuance? There's no continuity there. The only
Yes.
thing that can be continued, can be the same vagabond way of life. Because when I come and now see that this man before me has not done anything, I can make effort to change it. And that's why some
But
people...
whereas you change it, you put something in place, the next person comes and sees that you put some good things in place and does not want your name to be ringing as being the person who's done a good thing. So they tear it down.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there, because that's difficult. Because first, if the precedence is not there, if this example of, Otumba was representing us for 4 years, he mended the roads within his constituency, he improved the schools, he makes sure that water is not. I will not be a rep of any constituency and agree to put a borehole, Lorita Meta, at the, right as you are entering my constituency, and asking human beings to go and draw in water from the main road. I won't do that. It's not civilized. I will insist that basic amenities are evenly spreaded. I might not be able to finish everything, but it will be seen that I have put basic things that an ordinary human being needs in place. So if I do that, probably you will be geared up, you understand me, to follow the predecessor, somebody who was here before me. Predecessor, yeah. Did something like this, and I want to follow. But we don't have that pattern. The pattern we have is once you get there, you immediately want to build your own house.
Yes.
You immediately want to look after yourself.
What's the reason? Is it because we don't have a pension scheme put in place whereby you serve your nation accordingly, and you get to that point where you retire? You don't get your money. If you got your money that's actually been taken away from you whilst you were serving your nation, the money is supposed to come back to you without anybody sitting down on it. Is that the reason why when people go there, they just steal and steal and steal because they want to feather their own nest?
It is more than that. It is more than that. And that is why I have always argued on different programs.
Yes.
That we, as a people, we are yet to understand what it is to manage humanity. Right. Like one of my guests said, you see, because if you don't have the feelings for others, you see, these people using other people's money, stealing their money, using it for their personal use, or making them look bigger than the other. In reality, the truth of the matter is, their senses is not more than that.
Tiny.
If you have a situation where you agree to distribute rice, to give everybody bowls of whatever, gari, that kind of thing, you are the one that has no brain. You are the one. You understand? And if you think having money, now enjoying loot, you are the one that will never have peace in your life.
Right.
But but let me sorry, Jerry. Let me touch the question of why are we the biggest problem, the hidden problem here is the kind of human being we are.
We are not spiritual.
We are not spiritually developed. Not church, mosque, anything. We are not spiritually developed to see that everybody lives in Ota, and I represent Ota, and I get money for all of them.
Should get the
I should
basic
make
things that makes their life livable, that qualifies them to be human beings.
I don't need to go to university for that.
Yes. Right. Having said that, right, of course, I know you have a little bit of, or you, not a little bit, saying a little bit is actually insulting you. You have a vast background in law. You will agree with me that the essence of having a blueprint is because it has been tried and tested somewhere, they have failed, they have perfected it at one point, and then they decided they're going to put it in place so that the next person coming after them will not make the kind of mistakes they have made. That's why you have a blueprint. Now, we have taken the blueprint of democracy in our country. I know there are certain areas that we can tweak to make it okay for us. In America, you can be a senator for life. But the thing is, if you are a senator for life in America, you are accountable to the people. Do you think that same yardstick should be used to measure what we have in Nigeria? Because the president serves only 2 terms. He can't come back for a 3rd time. He can't even come back again. He's gone, right? And how come then that our senators will sit down there for 10 years, 12 years, they serve for life? Can they put an amendment in the Constitution which makes it impossible for you to go more than 2 terms? That way, right, you will not stay there for life. Because with the kind of money they are earning, they are comfortable staying there for the rest of their lives.
My take on that is very simple. Again, don't let us apply too much education into what I'm talking about. Let's keep it simple. I've no reason to believe that it's because they're staying there 2 times or they're staying there more than 4 times. Really, we are talking of the Senate, the reps. You know, most of the reps, you know, they can run as many times as they want. Whereas the Constitution shrunk the tenure of the president and the vice president and so on and so forth, or the governor, that they can only do 2 times. But you see, we still have to come back to where we are coming from.
Right.
That here we are, a set of people who do not care about the immediate subject we have. As an Oba wants to have a beautiful palace.
Yes.
As you can see, the Buckingham Palace or the House of Kings all over Europe, their immediate neighbor can be a council property.
Yes.
You understand me?
They don't segregate in such a way that the next
and I'm sure the Queen of England will abhor, will be very, very angry if she discovers that people living around Victoria Station area do not have water.
Yes,
obviously. Their children are not going to school. All this, you see, so we need to get that sorted out first, because otherwise we'll not be able to talk about that. Now, talking about the terms, like in America, you know, it's every other 2 years. There's
an election is
election is held. Some will go out. Yeah, primaries. You know, yeah. Well, primaries is the pre-something. So some will be re-elected. Some will lose whatever. Already, as you can see, the electorate in America already saying because of ongoing differences between Republican and Democrats. They are now saying, you know, for a lot of reasons, they will recall just like that their rep, be it Senate or whatever, and say, we want to see you next week at surgery. And the town hall will be full, and we say, how dare you to support this against, example, abortion, blah, blah, blah. And they will talk, and majority will agree that what you are doing is wrong. And then if you be able to convince them why he did it, they may agree, they may not agree.
If not, it's
now,
recalled.
so let's take this example to Nigeria.
Before we take that example to Nigeria, hold that for us. We're going on a short break. When we come back, Otumba will be touching on, or Otumba and I will be rubbing minds again. And for now, see you later.
Oh yes! Yes, the mighty hand of God shall liberate you at the second anniversary and powerful revival of Hour of Peace Evangelical Ministry that will take place on the 29th June 2018. Time 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. as Global Conference Hall, Selina Lane, Dagenham, RM8 1QH, opposite Dairy Crest Milk Industry. For further information, call 0739 9198 946 and 0755 0804 352, because it is time for God to work wonders in all areas of your life, and your goodness shall permanent. Join us as you shall experience peace in Jesus' name.
If you believe in His power, it's never long to all. Second year anniversary, and a great revival.
Oh, hello. Are you over 50? Come then. Let's narrate your story on the Ultimate 50 Plus Club. You see, this program is specifically directed at you all over 50 plus. Where were you born? What's your childhood like? What school did you attend? What have you done? Where have you been? Where are you going? What's your story? Your hopes and aspirations. See, we on Heritage TV would like to rub minds with you regardless of your status, education, or position in the society. The door is open. Come walk down memory lane with us. Step in. We're looking forward to seeing you. Co-host, we are rubbing minds on certain issues, and before we went on break, Otumba, you were about to touch on something.
Yes.
What was that?
Well, I want to dwell. I want to talk more about why, because I always ask my guest, why are we not doing what we ought to do? Why are you elected as the rep
Of the people?
for Jalingo, or somewhere in Kano, Kaduna, or anywhere in Ilorin? You represent the people, but it is you that is becoming fatter. It is you
And the
that
people
your
are getting
children,
thinner.
Yeah, your children are getting the best of this world. It is you that you are buying 20 cars. You know, it is you that will build beautiful house or houses. It is you that go on holiday. So the question is, why is that? It is very simple that the selfishness is manifesting. It is manifesting in you that you do not care about others. Because if you do genuinely care about others, you will see the children of...
You see their sufferings.
Yeah, you see the children of one of your constituents who is a organizer, that his children and your children and your child or children cannot be different. You have to see that their future is in what you put together for your constituency.
All of them.
But we don't have that. As we speak,
Okay.
it has always been the rep, the man in charge, be it a governor, that has everything to himself. And if they want to try and say, oh, we are developing, you now look at the development, how vast, how well spread this development. So it's a personal thing. It's still showing that you are still not spiritually developed to
that point where you
understand.
should care about the suffering
that
of the other people.
Representing Ijebu Central should not mean that I should be the one benefiting.
But the question is this. It is the electorate that is making our elected officials misbehave. In the sense that when they come to us, we don't ask them for their manifesto. We don't ask them for what they have for us. We don't question them like Tony will usually say. We don't hold their feet to the fire. But before you delve into that, if you're watching us, you are not just, or I just don't want you to just watch us. I want you to send questions in. Ask us anything, and we will guarantee that we will touch on it. You have the opportunity. You have the chance. You can spread this as long and as far as wide as you want to. Because, as Otumba says, we have not developed spiritually to look out for our brothers and our sisters. You have that opportunity now. It starts from here. As you're watching us, your comments, drop your comments on Facebook, put it, share it with your friends, go on Instagram, go on YouTube, go on Periscope, just anywhere you want to, but I'm watching out for your comments. I'll read them out and we'll take them from there. Just recently, the Nigerian police force were able to, will I use the word discover? A catch of weapons in Festac Town. I think it was 6th Avenue, somewhere in Festac Town. And we're looking at hundreds and hundreds of live ammunition, right? We're looking at AK-47s. And up till now, they've not actually come out and say categorically who this catch of weapons belong to. That is just a tip of the iceberg. There's so much arms and ammunition illegally running around our country. We are marching seriously towards an election. And you know that our elections have always been very vitriolic. We always practice election and politics of pain and bitterness. What do you think we can do? What do you think the current elected government can do to protect the electorate from feeling the brunt of this political vitriol?
Jerry, I don't want to sound like a broken record, and I don't want to sound like I'm being like repeating or making a boring contribution. I want to tell you, and for the benefit of our viewers, for them to understand that the cause of our problem is still the way we are structured.
Yes.
The way we are structured will encourage all form of criminalities, will encourage all form of each one and us taking advantage of each other, doing what we want, the way we want to do it. I will quickly make a quick digression and talk about security. The amount of ammunition that was recovered, the inspector of police that was reading it out, that was even showing the criminals that were caught alongside with that catch.
I think we might have a clip. I don't know if we can show the clip. If we can show the clip, we'll show you the clip.
Yes. So because one of the things he said that it was very, very profound.
Yes.
And I hope that can be maintained. He said, this is the benefit of people working with the police.
Yes. The community.
The community.
Working with the police.
But the question here is, what kind of community are we talking about?
Yes.
Are we talking about hungry community? Are we talking of community that have no houses, they have no Medicare, their children are not going to schools, they're not benefiting anything.
But wait,
hang on a minute.
Wait, Otumba.
Yeah.
Poor or not, when you point a gun and spray at people, the bullet does not discriminate.
Whether you are rich or wrong.
Whether you're rich or wrong, whether you're fed your children or not. So I think we should all put our hands together.
Yes. In these circumstances, we still have some people, despite all the odds, despite all the hardships, they still pretend, I mean, they not pretend, they still show that they are good citizens. So the police are saying, without the intervention, without this community, one or two people
Yes.
who blew the
whistle or whatever it might
who
be.
called them and said, listen,
There's
go and check
something going on
Otumba's
here.
house.
Mm-hmm.
So and so are there because I saw them. So we have a situation where, as you can see, governance cannot be run or done or in isolation. You must include the people.
The people.
The people are the key ingredients of governance, good governance. They are the one. You must make yourself as the governor or the senator of that area to let the people see that you are serving them. And whatever that is going to benefit them will benefit you.
Like
We
I
are
was saying,
still running away from that fact that is an issue. Going back to the cash, of course, that is frightening.
yes.
Because I think the ammunitions are, I'm told, is
I don't
about
know.
900 and something
And
thousand.
I don't know if we have a clip of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me. The executive,
studio,
the
yeah.
executive producer should be able to
So-
let me know if we have a clip of it,
All right.
and we probably will
Maybe
show
while
it
we are waiting for that.
Yeah, but whilst we're waiting for that, yes.
So 900 and something, and K-47 and some other
AK-47, this,
AK-47,
I
which
don't
are
know.
very expensive. Yeah, I think
Support for the governor is just so much everywhere. His Excellency Governor Yoson Wike.
Oh yeah, this is one of
Life in
the
You can see the buses. So some people don't say it's
the people who
Photoshop.
are actually
A big photo video.
advertising on the side of London buses. That's one of them. This is for the River Ejan people supporting Wike
That's
for governor in 2019. This is a part of the things we're talking about. Now, will people now say that they're doing this
for the
because
governor
they
is just so
want
much everywhere.
Wike to run again when they are living in the
Excellency
diaspora?
Governor
How
Yoson
would they
Wike.
know what is actually
Life in
on the
London.
ground there?
You can see the buses. So some people don't say
the
it's
aim,
Photoshop.
Yes.
A big photo
the
video.
target audience is not you and I, because if the people who put money together
Yes.
that's doing this to their own people can only say something, what it says to me is that they are very, very selfish. Is the same set of people we have been trying to talk about.
Are they selfish, or they are pretending
they are
to
selfish because
support the
you and
governor
I-
so that when they go home,
whoever
the
it is.
governor will now give them some appointment or give them
Yes.
certain contracts?
Exactly. That's we are still saying the same thing, because let's take the Jaw people, which is also just a segment of the Rivers State area. They are partly in Rivers. They are also partly in Bayelsa. They are spread all over. They are spread across the boundaries. You understand me?
Yes.
So, but let's take example of these Jaw people who put their own
Are
money
they
together.
speaking for the
Now, wait a
Izo
minute.
people?
Yeah, even that. Let's take it that they put it is their money, because I can imagine that one
It's their money.
they will turn around and say it's their money, but the truth of the matter is 63 to 90,000 a
It's
week.
it's a huge
If
amount
that
of
money is put together and say our governor, Query community, or some of this literacy community, please help us build and furnish schools, mend the roads,
Yes.
create employment,
Give us
give them
potable drinking water.
You understand me? And give them small clinics, hospitals. I'll bet you, if they say that, the governor cannot on his own say, no, I want the money to be used for advertisement on London buses. And now there's this one danger in all this. This is not a small amount of money.
It is not a small amount of
Because,
money.
like I said, London buses that is taking this advert, they might even run into trouble with some of
Their own people here.
Their own people here, because you find just someone who does not believe
What's that got to do with me? Why are you taking money from these people?
They
who cannot
will,
even
they
afford
will
this
insist
thing?
and say, I'm sure London buses will have been receiving, because they will shy them. You remember when manufacturing companies were ceded to foreign countries, I mean, like Bangladesh, Pakistan, India.
People calling centers and things like that.
Yes, No, not even the man. I'm talking about manufacturers.
Okay, yes. They,
When
they
these-
took,
yes,
they took their
I think-
business elsewhere
Yes,
because
one of the
cost, overhead
one
cost.
of one of the most popular client of this manufacturing company that is Mark and Spencer.
Yeah.
And some other, cloth industry. And guess what? Some people rose up and said, no. If you get we know you are trying to make some savings. I know you are, but the money you are saving, you are using it on your directors.
Okay.
They are getting fat bonuses, and you are paying an average worker in Bangladesh peanuts. You cannot do that.
You can't do that. And
So-
then you bring the goods back to this country
As a
and
matter
sell
of
it.
fact, as we see now,
Yes.
that has changed
Right.
because they insisted that we are living here. We are okay. We have enough to drink and eat, whatever.
But what
you
about the
don't
people over
what-
there?
exactly.
You're paying them
So,
peanuts.
Let me now bring back and use it for the same example here.
Right.
I'll be shocked if this is not going to be challenged
Somewhere along the line.
along the line.
Yes.
When somebody will come around and say, hello, yes, we don't need this kind of that. But we know very well what is obtainable in Bayelsa.
If the demand for
So you cannot be spending their money-
When you say Izo people, Rivers people, you say, like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
it's the
Well,
same
like,
thing. we are talking- yeah.
Like I was saying, as we continue with this program, somewhere along the line, if because my executive producer is looking through to see if we can bring you the clip of the police and their confiscation of arms and ammunition in Festac. Like I said, we asked a few people to drop their comments. There was this person who is called Cash Barclays. He says, Take It Back Movement Group with their president candidate, or he means with their presidential candidate, have no political experience. Another one says, Osage Osiagbovo. He says, Showore for president. We can't wait to take it back from the old cabals. If you want to take it back from the old cabals, and like the other gentleman say, or Cash Barclay says, that they don't have any experience. In that same breath, somebody is saying, the ones with experience, what have they achieved? Are they doing enough? So how do we balance it come 2019 so that the people will make the right choices, and making the right choices will enable our country to move forward? You always drum it into their ears over and over again. Go and get your PVC. Go and register to vote. Because if you don't register to vote, come the day, you'll be in no position to cast any ballot. So go get it. Now coming back to this, which way Nigeria?
Well, number one, we should continue to educate our people what leadership, what election, what their aspirations, what their expectations should be. What are they expecting? What should they be asking for? They're not asking for anything special than services.
Yes.
Services that are missing in their life. Services that an ordinary organizer, that he needs a house. The services that his children, you understand me? Born, whether his child is born disabled, blind, or whatever, that this child or children still should be entitled to formal schools, and they should also be entitled to Medicare, because the money is there.
Okay.
So these are the things they should, but you see, until such a time that an average illiterate understand what it takes. But you see, we also must not forget that it is cheaper for the politicians to keep the illiterate permanently in poverty, because every time you go to market to buy them, they are cheaper, you know.
Yes,
you
it's
make
cheaper for you to spend that money knowing for-
you make them to suffer for 4 years.
Okay.
So when you go there again in 4 years, that's what they have been doing the last 50-something years. Keep giving people. And I also quickly before you, I also want to say that we have a situation part of the country before where someone was doing a good job, provide basic things for the people. You understand me? The record is there, the legacies are there. So, but this the crop of politicians we have now, they're excessively greedy. You see a senator that has about 7 cars.
So it's called Rip Off Nigeria.
Oh yes, he has about 7 cars. And
Right.
he can hardly use any of them because the roads are bad. So you trace the whole thing to anybody doing that. It may be element of mental issue. Maybe there must be something.
It must be
not right.
mentally. It must be mentally unhinged.
Because how
when
do you do a collection? Yes, people do collect cars here.
Yeah,
But they collect
it's-
cars
they're
based
not-
on their income,
They're not even in government.
based on people paying taxes.
Most of them are not even in government.
Yes.
Those who collect
Yes,
cars.
yeah.
And when they collect these cars, it's a form of investment because these cars appreciate
Yes.
as they grow to a particular age.
Become vintage,
Now,
and then you can, yeah.
I came across something recently. The new prime minister of Ethiopia. Ethiopia is far removed from Nigeria. Ethiopia has just come out of a nasty civil war and whatnot. The new prime minister of Ethiopia is a 42-year-old gentleman. In the short space of time he's been around, he has connected about 6 or 7 countries in his access. He's come up with plans to extend railway lines to these people. He's come into, a national cooperation. And Ethiopia has just finished building their mega dam, which will give them 90,000 kilowatt or 90,000 megawatts of electricity. And it cost them only $6 billion. We have spent $16 billion plus dollars. And we haven't got nothing to show for it. What is wrong with us? Why are our people not asking questions?
Jerry, you keep taking me back to where I was coming from.
I can't help it.
Yeah, fine. I'm willing to deal with it.
Yes.
Now, you're just giving us a wonderful example of a country.
That's just practically emerged from a
Yes.
civil war.
But even before then, there is also another country called Rwanda.
Yes.
And we now have the leader of Rwanda,
Kigali. Paul Kigali.
Paul Kigali, who have transformed, changed
that country.
governance from about 90 degree to angle 360.
60.
Made it fantastically different. And he put certain things in action
Yes.
in order to achieve where he is today. There will never be power failure. Schools are running clockwise. Roads are good. Medicare, all basic things of life are working. You see, that can only be achieved when you have a leader with vision who knows
Where to take his people.
Yeah, that knows that he cannot be enjoying a regular flow of electricity via generator and expect others that they don't have generator, that whatever, I better pass my neighbor generators kill, maim, and and he doesn't care about that. Now, going back to Ethiopia, this guy is showing us that the mindset, leadership is by example. If a 42-year-old man who probably have studied in abroad knows that California, you understand me, as a state, one state in America, had so many things to offer, and it became, in fact, the 6th world largest economy, that even bigger than some African countries put together. And he now says, oh yes, when I was living in California, there are good rules, there are these, there are so on. So I want to change. You see, it's not very difficult to change our people.
Yes.
When I was talking about the spiritual conception, when you show our people, look at the time of Buhari, his first time coming.
War against indiscipline.
Or even look at when Lagos State insisted that operation, what's it called again?
Yeah, certain people and certain things cannot be done.
Yes, you must clean, you must clean
yes.
whatever.
It's on Thursdays now, I think.
Well, there was a name.
Thursday morning.
Is
it environmental?
Environmental. You see, did people not comply?
Of course they did.
Complied.
Of course they
So
did.
it's the same thing. If we have a governor who says to his people of his state, say, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, all schools must be decently built. The chairs, I'm not going to have more than 28
students or pupils per
in a
class.
You're not going to live and lead about 42 people in a class.
How can the teacher cope?
He cannot. And now, even not only that,
Yes.
the teacher have to deal with epileptic power supply. There's so many things. So with this young guy in Ethiopia, he's now coming to show us that what we have been talking about here tonight, it is not a magic.
Okay.
We just need to have somebody with a very correct, positive mindset that I want to see Nigeria change to better, and we'll march on, you know.
Otumba, I'm looking at comments here, and it's getting me angry. It's getting me angry because people are coming here and just leaving comments like, Showore, take it back. How do you take it back? They're not telling me how to take it back. And that is the bane of our society. That's why the elders can turn around and bamboozle the young one. And that's why the elders can turn around and give you pittance and take your vote. That's why the elders, right, can push you into the background because you're not coming up with anything tangible. I'm seeing people just saying, Showore, take it back. The youth, take it back. How do you want to take it back? Please give me something. Because that's what people are going to say. Give me something. Give me something to. Because with me, I get very passionate when I see people do, things that hasn't got meaning. We are talking about you as a young generation. 65% of the Nigerian populace are under 40. Which means in another 30 years, right, the rest of the percentage that is left, that is actually, dipping your hands into your pocket, probably will have died off. And then you're not telling me how to take it back. You're just saying take it back. How do you take it back? Please give me something cogent.
Well, on most of the program I anchor or participate, I would not put extra premium or any premium on this kind of contribution.
Yeah, but the question is, this is where it all happens. If you cannot tell me how to take it back.
And I will tell you, and what I mean by that is, we are talking about it, I would say we cannot know what are these young aspirants.
Yes.
We don't know yet. Nigerians don't know what they are made of.
Okay.
It's just, and that is the truth. We're not being anything.
Yeah, but even their supporters saying take it back.
That is their support.
What are you saying? What are they taking back? We don't take it back, Nigeria.
Anybody's supporter would. And we started this program. You introduced or you put into it issue of thuggery.
Yes, which we will look into. We'll still look into it briefly.
If agitating
yes,
or making noise about a particular aspirant is going to be equivalent to making noise about what he has not even said he can do, then it becomes an issue.
Yeah, but you can make constructive noise.
We are not getting that yet. So, and I will expect the aspirants who are probably listening to this kind of program, they can go online to rewind and listen to this program. This should be in position
time for them to come out.
To come out and say to their supporters, you know what?
This is the way we want to go.
This is governance is a serious business. What you should be saying when I'm not there, because this is exactly how I would operate.
Yes.
You should be educating.
Yes.
Get so much information out there to get the ordinary doubting someone that think we cannot do. Tell them what they are going to get if they vote for me or vote for our party. Take it back is a slogan.
It's just a slogan.
It's neither here
it
nor
doesn't
there.
tell me anything. People are relying on generator and plants. In the same vein, they are taking away the petrol that should be used somewhere and use on the diesel to something that is being diverted to other aspects of our economy. Do you think a right-thinking Nigerian government should ban generators and plants from coming into the country?
Yeah.
You think they should?
Again, I was saying to my some of my friends when this current government was coming to power, when they were campaigning all over the place, and I said one of the beauty of governance is that they're going to be in position to do and undo they will be having such a huge power, so much power to break and unbreak.
The cartel.
In fact, I don't even want to contribute to the issue of cartel, because I was listening to a program that said, really and honestly, the so-called people we call cartel, they're just weaklings. They're very weak. They are small people. It's because they do this business of
terrorizing the people.
Terrorizing the people. That's why you see them as they are not. If the people were to be empowered, that the people say, Oga Baba, you can keep your money. Don't tell me what to do. I'm going to obey the rule of the law. Do not. But because we believe that using our money to terrorize others is the thing. But don't let me go too far away from there. For example, let's take a scenario that Buhari said, I don't want generator in my Aso Rock.
Yes.
If I'm in darkness, you are in darkness. But do me a favor, within the next 2 weeks, I want all the people that energy engineers, bring them home.
Yes.
Let them put power. Because when you listen to some of the arguments of people in charge of power, energy in Nigeria, they're so disgusting. You even will be tempted to want to break your television. Because I don't know where that argument is coming from. When the people in charge of power will say, we are managing 4,000 kilowatts, whereas South Africa is managing about 40,000, and somebody say, why is it different? Why is this sharp difference? Say, oh, because in South Africa, there is manufacturers.
What rubbish?
The BOAC, the airline something.
Yes,
there.
So we have these people in Nigeria just as well.
And I say to myself, and these are people highly educated.
No, they're not highly educated. You conceive them to be highly educated.
And for me to listen to the person in charge saying that, so
it's a defeatist, isn't
that
it?
In the borough where I live, I can count maybe probably there's no manufacturer there, but the amount of energy we use is almost far more than they put about 6 states together. And we are still not a manufacturer. So why are you saying they need to put, that should be a factor before you can answer? But when you also alluded to the amount of money that has been expended
to generate this same electricity that's nowhere to be found.
And South Africa, you are talking that has 40,000, has not spent half of what we have spent.
Yes.
So which shows clearly, again, like we said, we are a congregation of wicked people. That is the truth. That is the bottom line.
Because
so, for me, if the president say, I don't want generator.
Yes.
I want light. Give me light. He will have gotten light.
He would have gotten light.
You understand me?
Yes.
Because again, like I said, I had a personal friend, very close friend, who is number 3, 1, 2, 3. The number 3 person in charge of the whole of Texas.
In the electricity.
If anything.
And this person is a Nigerian.
Of course he's a Nigerian.
Exactly.
He's a Nigerian. And that if there's anything apart from natural disaster, you cannot see, and Texas, Texas is one of the biggest states in America. You cannot find a situation that there's no light. And even at that, he will say to you, even at the situation when there's a natural disaster, within a short period of time,
they usually within 24 hours, 48 hours maximum, it's fixed.
So, and they did not have so much money to spend it, because these are simple technology. But because we are used to it, stealing, diverting, siphoning people's money, and nobody can see anything. So it's a big issue. So now, we have taken everything for granted that people will not react, people will not talk. They don't care. They're used to darkness anyway.
Yes. Which is like horrible, isn't it?
Part of what I'm saying that.
Okay, you watching us today, I'm going to ask you a straightforward question. What exactly do you know about your country? What do you know about your constitution? You are a Nigerian. You claim to be a Nigerian. Are you really a Nigerian? Do you know your rights? Okay, as at this point in time, as I'm talking to you right now, do you actually even know the chairman of your local government area? Do you know, right, your rep, the person who is representing you, your ward? Do you know these people? You see, it is when you start finding out who these people are and you start asking questions, that is when you start opening your minds and opening your ears and opening your senses. That is when you start thinking, okay, now I have my permanent voting card. I want to listen to Otumba come to me with ideologies. I want to listen to the hopes and aspirations he has for me. I want to listen to the plans he has to put water in my community, schools that my children attend so that they can sit down. You see, if we have enough money, if we put air conditioners in classrooms all over Nigeria, we ain't even done nothing. Because it's like here, it's a cold, temperate place, right? Can you imagine children here going to school and there's no heater? So how come